Welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
This week, we have to discuss illegal e-bikes and the criminals of the road who are using them and taking over our cities.
We also have hot tech where we've got a crazy lightweight set of wheels using carbon fibre and titanium spokes, a bike/kayak combo. We've got another indoor training bike to discuss, and also a headset converter, which I am particularly excited about.
Cool. So our main talking point this week, we need to talk about illegal e-bikes. We're talking about the derestricted ones that seem to just be taking over our cities, that seem to be able to be ridden without even pedalling them. Like
absolutely mad.
I mean, it's basically a moped at this point, except it's doesn't have any number plates on it, and people are just using them all the time. And we just want to be clear as well, like before we go any further, we do love e-bikes. We love cycling in all of its forms. It's just I feel like we
can't condone these
with these and how they're being used.
Yeah, like I can speak from personal experience here. So not only have I seen stuff like this here in the UK, around London and stuff like that, but also twice this year I visited New York. Once on holiday at the start of the year, once when we did GFNY. And
we were shocked.
There is a big, I don't want to say it's a big issue, but they're incredibly common. Everywhere you go, there's a bike whizzing past and you're like, nearly run me over.
And there's a lot of, they're very popular with delivery riders and couriers. A lot of those guys are using them. But how many, most of them that you see aren't being pedalled.
I think this is the issue. This is the issue for me, is that
it's not cycling anymore.
I don't know, people might disagree. I'm counting an e-bike as a pedal-assisted bike. It's not like throttle, twist and go and away you go. I think that moves it. I think in many countries, legally, also moves it away from a bike into what would be classified as a motor vehicle.
They are popular with couriers, delivery drivers, as we said, but also unsavoury types engaging in clandestine activities. And that's just not, our sort of opinion. It's also the opinion of Chief of Patrol from NYPD, John Chell, who, and I've taken this quote from CBS, they said that he calls e-bikes and scooters the getaway vehicle of choice for criminals. John Chell there.
So the issue here, right, is that if you're using a non-pedal assisted e-bike, you've got a throttle. Essentially, it's as a moped. Technically, it should be registered, so you should have a number plate, you should have a license, you should have tax, MOT, insurance. Now, I feel like the criminals probably aren't having this on their illegal e-bikes.
No, you can have something as quick as a moped, but you don't require any kind of license or insurance or like number plates or anything at all. But that's the problem. Can
I throw a sort of minor curveball counter argument in here? Because I think anyone that is going to be taking part in even fairly mild criminal activity is probably not going to be too concerned whether their license is correct or they've paid for their insurance or that their vehicle is registered to them correctly.
Well, plenty of criminals use the like just normal motorised mopeds. That's a common vehicle of choice.
But then just because it's got a number plate on it doesn't mean it's going to be registered as their home address, is it?
Yeah, sure. Could be stolen.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is like we need to look at what the law actually says on these things, because it's a bit different depending on where you live.
Yeah.
So in the UK, and this is also applies in other countries as well, if the bikes are legally compliant, then they are limited in power. Although the amount of power that they're limited to varies from country to country. So in the UK, that's just 250 watts.
Yeah.
And then they're limited to a speed of assisting you up to 15.5 miles per hour. So if you see someone who is riding one and they're not having to pedal it and they're going 20 miles an hour,
illegal.
Bit of a red flag. And clearly many of them, are modified illegally.
Yeah.
And also, they don't need to be taxed, they don't need to be insured, and they don't need to be licensed, and they don't need to have any ID features on them, as we've mentioned. That's fine, that's the law. But it does mean that if you have an accident or if you break the law, then there is no comeback. But there's also like there's very little disincentive not to break the law, because it's very hard to catch someone and prosecute someone who has broken the law when it's impossible to identify them, or very hard to identify them.
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Yeah, so that's an issue. Like that, that is a thing. If someone, and it's not just criminals, it could just be someone who knocks a pedestrian down.
Could be
because
Linda
they've
from down the road.
jumped a light.
Yeah. It could be like an actual accident. But
also, there's another interesting thing. In the UK, the law says you have to be 14 or over.
I did not know
to ride
this.
an e-bike.
So that surprises me, and I hadn't assumed age was going to come into it. But it makes sense, right? If you're using something that's got a level of power to it and you can go a certain speed.
Yeah, it varies in different places as well. In America, the rules are quite different. And it varies from state to state. But for example, in New York, you're allowed a 750 watt motor.
Big boy.
Assistance. That's a lot of power.
Yeah.
Right? Bloody
That's
hell.
nearly as much as your FTP.
I mean, that's like a horsepower.
Yeah.
It's as powerful as a horse. But there's a good argument to have different levels of power assistance, speed limits on e-bikes depending on the country that you're in, because every country's different. So, for example, in America, there's a lot less cycling infrastructure than a lot of European cities. So riders have to be on the road a lot more. The roads are bigger, the cars are bigger, and the people are really nice.
Okay, right, we've got to play devil's advocate here. What are the solutions to these problems? Do we just take the easy path and make the illegal products now legal? Or what do we do? Do we clamp down on this stuff? Because I feel like it's...
Like regulate it more, make e-bikes have number plates.
I don't want to...
I hate this.
I don't want to open this argument.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, the problem is that that's going to cost a load of money, and it's also like, is it necessary? And also it creates a barrier to entry to people using bikes. And you think, well, you want more people on bikes because there are a lot of advantages.
Yeah.
You reduce congestion, which is a huge problem in big cities.
That's a big problem everywhere.
If you took a load of cars off the road and had those people on e-bikes, that's then way better, because you've got less noise pollution, you've got less congestion, you've got less actual air pollution. It's like it's a win. It's better,
100% it's better. Fun fact, it took me longer to drive to the office today than it does normally to cycle to the office. If we're talking about whether we change like the legislation than the law on this, I feel like it's almost at this really awkward point, not only with, say, illegal e-bikes, but certainly here in the UK, with like electric-powered scooters and the likes of that, is that they are illegal, but they're now so common that what can people do about it? What can the police do? Stand there all day and catch like 30 illegal e-bikes and e-scooter riders in the morning, and then people are going to be like, well, there's actually like real crime happening out here, and you've just stopped Dave from down the road who's doing 14.7 miles an hour.
Yeah, and the problem, and then there's the whole thing of, why don't you go catch some real criminals?
Yeah.
When the police are already, stretched and stuff.
Presumably there's a problem worldwide.
And the problem is there is no recourse, and the problem is people then riding them in an antisocial way, which I think really annoys us, because we feel that it gives cyclists a real bad name. So people who are non-cyclists, they tend to put all cyclists in the same bracket, don't they? And then they go, oh, you blummin' cyclists.
They go very West Country.
Yeah.
Tell you something I have noticed when reading up about a lot of this stuff is that some e-bikers seem to be referring to normal bikes as acoustic bikes. No. This is not allowed.
They're not. A bike is not an acoustic bike. A non-e-bike is not an acoustic. No, it's not. It's just a bike.
Yeah.
It's just a bike.
That actually.
Can we call an end to that?
That's something that really grinds my gears. I would like to make this statement.
Grinds mine.
Can we make this statement very clear and official? Here on this channel, we shall.
That's a t-shirt. My bike is not an acoustic bike.
We shall explicitly not refer to a bike as an acoustic bike, and if I do, people
kick you in the balls.
Yes, but in the comments section.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So what's our sort of overarching thoughts on this then? Because it is a difficult, I know we've joked about some aspects of it, but it is a sensible and difficult thing to get right.
One of the things, like we said, they're very common with delivery riders and couriers, and there are several big delivery companies, there's several big fast food delivery companies.
Yeah.
And it feels like an easy thing would be for the authorities to clamp down on them and say, look, because they're easily identifiable. Because of, and you just go, look, you can't.
You've got to have them legal.
You can't have illegal e-bikers riding around.
Well, I mean, people would then say there's then the risk that you're going to take people off of a bike and put them back into a car again, and you're like, well, that's worse for the environment.
Well, you can have an e-bike,
just a legal one.
Just a legal one.
Well, it also poses the question of something we've spoken about before: is sort of really budget, low quality e-bikes that potentially pose a fire risk and a hazard.
Yeah, so this seems to be a much bigger problem in New York, with people using dodgy batteries in them.
Yeah.
And then also, I think because they're de-restricting them, that then creates added strain on the battery, which causes the batteries to fail, and then they're having battery fires, and there's all sorts of problems. Obviously, people live in a lot of high-rise apartments and things, and there's problems with that. So that seems to be almost there were more news articles I found around that than the actual people being antisocial on the bikes.
Well, that is a major issue, right? You can't start having fires in cities from e-bikes catching.
But I don't want to. What I don't want to do though is limit technology because the technology here is brilliant. The fact that you can have an e-bike that's 750 watts, it's incredible. We want to embrace that technology and we want to get people using it because it is great.
I mean, we are major bike nerds, right? And we do love, like you say, all of this tech innovation. I'm all for it. Push the boundaries, make cycling for more people, make cycling easier for people that find it difficult. But keep it safe and legal and let's not be endangering people. God, that was very sensible of me to say that, wasn't it?
Yes. Right. Well, we want to know what your thoughts are on this and if you've got any solutions to this because we're struggling to sort of think of more things that could be done with it, and I'm not sure what the answer is. But yeah, let us know down in the comments.
Lovely.
Time now for hot tech, and we're going to start with some carbon and titanium spokes, which Alex is really excited about.
Can I just update? I was really excited about it because it's not quite as exciting as I anticipated. I mean, someone can correct me if I'm wrong. So as far as I understand it, it's not some new wonder material that is carbon fibre with titanium weaved through it. These spokes are carbon fibre spokes, like we've seen lots of different brands using, with titanium ends on them rather than presumably steel or aluminium ends. Cool, but not quite as cool as I thought. These are actually used on a RAR or RAR 20th anniversary Aura wheel set. And they're claiming that the carbon fibre / titanium spokes are up to 300% stronger than the market's best stainless steel spokes. Now, basically we've got a super lightweight set of wheels here. Do you want to know the weights?
Yep.
Yeah, so not only do they look really cool.
I thought,
Go on.
I don't know, I just thought steel was actually, certain alloys of steel are higher in tensile strength than
Getting way too techie for me here. I was just reading the facts.
Let me just fact check Santa this. I mean, it's unclear based on my quick internet research. Titanium is stronger in terms of strength to weight.
Yeah.
But I think steel can have higher yield strength.
Okay, but who are we to dispute what they're saying about their own spokes? Anyway, right, so they've got super lightweight hubs, cycling ceramic speedy boy bearings. They're available in 24 or 40mm deep, 21mm internal rim width, and I said they're light at the start, but the lightest version is the 24mm tubular version, 795
Still
grams
making
a pair.
tubs.
Well, that's if you want to make the wheels super light.
Yeah.
Say make the wheels light.
Good for the old hill climb season coming up.
The heaviest, I say heaviest in inverted commas, 40mm clincher / tubeless version, 1,050 grams for the pair. So again, very light, but
very light.
You're looking at around 4,500 euros for a pair.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, but it says that it includes a free 5-year warranty. So they're not charging you more for the warranty.
Chucking that in.
Yeah, chucking that in for the mix.
That's nice.
Right.
On
to a headset converter.
Oh, I can't wait.
I feel like you're missing the point of this, right? My Neo Retro bike, old threaded fork steerer, and I've got a new threadless stem, yeah?
Yeah.
Merge the two together, I've got a little metal shim on there. Whilst it works okay, it's not great. Now, Adrian from a company called Fork Solutions, I believe, got in touch with me. Oh, Fork Mods, sorry, it's called, not Fork Solutions.
Fork Mods.
And
that is competitor for Fork Solutions.
I really hope not. It'd be awkward, wouldn't it? We messaged you on Instagram. I was like, hey, have you checked out this headset converter that we make? Essentially, it is a beautifully machined piece of aluminium.
Right.
Yeah? So you get the right threaded size for your fork that you've got, and then it's got a bung which goes in and threads onto the threaded fork, and then means you've got like a really secure, stiff headset solution to allow you to run a modern stem on an old school fork zero.
That's.
I feel like you're not really the person that this is for.
Yeah, it sounds cool. That
Yeah.
Nice.
It's made from 6061 T6 aluminium, silver or black. I think this is a mega bit of kit, and if there's any way I could fit one of these to my Neo Retro bike, I will, because the project is continually evolving.
Nice.
Next, we talk about bikes and kayaks and when they're merged together.
What are you talking about, Peter Sagan?
Yeah,
being
right.
Spotted.
So I mentioned this to you the other day, and I don't think you really heard much about it, had you?
No.
So let me get this right. So the print is a foundation, charity foundation in Monaco, right?
Yeah.
And what they're doing is they've put 5 different teams together, and they've each got one bike/kayak.
Is it?
And they're racing.
Well, hang on. So it's the Monegasque Royals.
I'm not entirely
Princess, what's her face?
sure. Maybe.
Charlene.
So you've got 5 teams, right, made up of like celebrities, sports people, and then they're racing 180 kilometres from one side of land to the other across the ocean.
If I was cynical, I would say that this was a tax avoidance scheme.
But you're definitely not cynical,
But
are
I'm
you?
not, no, so it's all good, yeah.
Right. There's some cool... I think it's cool to see Peter Sagan riding this
That's
crazy
cool,
bike.
yeah.
Yeah, right. So there's a little clip on Instagram where you can see him, and it's kind of cool. But in his team was also my other best mate, Valtteri Bottas, from when we went gravel riding in Australia.
Yeah, all right. Was he riding one of these aqua bikes?
He was on the same team as Peter Sagan.
Did they win?
I don't actually have the results to hand.
I really want to ride one of those. I mean, I don't know if you know, but I've actually got quite a bit of experience riding sort of aquatic bikes.
You have! I forgot. Can we please, Isaac, dig out the clip of Ollie trying the aqua bike thing?
Oh.
Right, that was brilliant. That's going to live in my mind rent-free till the day I die. Right, that's enough of that jokey stuff, because we've got an indoor training bike to discuss. It's
this is
called
cool.
the Wattbike Proton, presumably a follow-on from the Atom.
I can see where they're going with the naming of these.
Yeah.
So the Atom is still Wattbike's top of the range indoor training bike.
Yeah.
And that's priced at £2,400 or $2,549.
Expensive bits of kit, aren't they?
Yeah, but the Proton is designed to sit below that.
Mm-hmm.
So they've priced that at $1,795. So I'd imagine that's going to be $1,850 or there or thereabouts.
somewhere there.
And according to Wattbike, it's an accessible, highly versatile smart bike designed to bring Wattbike's cutting-edge technology to a broader fitness audience. So it's got like all the adjustment on it that doesn't require any tools.
Broader fitting audience. I think this one excludes Connor. He's too tall, right?
It does, yeah. Because it's adjustable between people who are 4'6" and 6'6". So 6'8" Connor.
Just have to duck out of this
Connor.
one.
Yeah.
Quite literally duck out of it.
And it has a screen with it built on that then you have like the free access to Wattbike's own platform with workouts built onto it, which is quite an interesting technical choice to go down to have that integration. But you can also use third-party things, so Strava, Zwift, Ruvi, those sorts of things will work on there as well. The power accuracy of it is claimed plus or minus 1%, and it has the same 8-kilogram flywheel that the Wattbike Atom has on it as well for that same sort of ride feel, which is quite interesting.
All right. Okay, right, and then last time in Hot Tech, the big Spanish bike riders finished, so we don't have any big Spanish bike ride special edition bottles anymore, but you can get these bad boys. Look at the massive one you've got.
Oh, this is a big boy.
Don't take that out of context. These are Camelbak Podium GCN edition vacuum insulated metal water bottles.
These are good for big Spanish bike rides because they're insulated.
Keep your drinks nice and cold.
So on a very hot day, Stay nice and cool.
It does suggest not to put hot drinks in here, though. I do like the idea of these. I've got a couple on my home that I use not only for when I sort of commute to work, but it's great. So you can lug it around in the office as well.
Oh,
yeah, there's yours there.
It's got the valve on top.
I like that. Actually, this is the first question people ask is how do you drink out of it if you can't squeeze it? Well, it's got a special little valve in the top.
Special valve.
Yeah. If you want to get your hands on one of these big boys, available at shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com, where you can check out all our other really cool merchandise, which helps support our channel.
How did you get that colour t-shirt?
Oh, shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com, if you want to get your hands on one.
They never let me get the white ones because I always spill my dinner down them.
Because you're so messy.
Yeah. Right, so comments of the week. Wotex Pat, he was on the show last week.
Okay.
The light, you know that crazy light that you wanted to buy that's like 1,000,000,000 billion lumens and lasts for 30 seconds?
I think it's like 200,000 lumens or something, yeah.
Well, he's watched, it sounds like he's watched Napoleon Dynamite recently. Because he replied, heck yes! Buy that light, would be hilarious. Got 101 likes as well, so I think you should buy it.
Yeah, but it's a lot of money. I don't think I've got a sign-off to spend just £800 on a torch. Okay, next comment from underneath last week's show.
Is from Il Pinocolo. He's on about the efficiency rig. We were on Silverstone.
I like that. Good subject.
And he said that I would like to hear what was different between Ollie and the other less efficient rider. Was he heavier? How much? Was he not as lean or leaner? Height? I think this is some important information that was glossed over. Yeah, this is really interesting. So those things are calibrated for the weight and such like, and the leanness doesn't really affect it. So the things that are affecting that efficiency that we've measured there are the way in which you pedal.
Yeah.
So the way in which you're like actually mechanically moving the cranks, like, and not, you know, pulling up and pushing down sort of thing, and pedaling in a more efficient way. And also it's things like how your body acts as a dampener. So when you're riding as a complete system, the engineers are explaining that your body is actually dampening vibration. So I'm really rubbish at riding on cobbles in the real world, and I found it really hard when I was on the efficiency rig. And one of the things that they are probably going to try and look into, but they suspect, is that riders who are better at riding on the cobbles are better at using their body as a dampener to like absorb, like these are shock absorbers and everything, and your legs and everything. So they're like absorbing that vibration through their body.
Well, this is actually...
It's like having a mass damper in a building.
This is something I was kind of taught and learnt a long time ago, because I came from a mountain biking, off-road cycling background. So that was like, it was like rule 101 is like use your body as a suspension. So yeah, I think it's easy for people to overlook that.
Yeah.
Go on then, underneath the...
Captain Bungee next, who was under your video on about making your bike 1 kilogram lighter, and he said, some Jura Ace cranks I had lying around. 155 likes, that.
I didn't use Jura Ace cranks as a way to make your bike lighter. They were just on my bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just on there.
Oh, yeah.
Was it? Yeah. Whatever. Do you know what? There was some... People got behind this video, and some people were really trying to be picky about it, but it's a video on how to make your bike 1 kilogram lighter. Like,
yeah, well,
it's pretty simple.
Jonathan Van Zappala said, also on that video, deflecting the blame now, are we? Now it's Ollie that just happens to have a C59 in his spares bin.
I knew you had one at home. That's why I messaged you. I was like, bring me that saddle in. I need it to make my bike light.
It's my special saddle that I put on for hill climbs to make my bike a bit lighter. I don't really ride it the rest of the time, but I just take it out, put it on when it's hill climb.
And then underneath this is the Neo Retro build. Blake Goodwin 3591 says, this series has been awesome, especially this post-mortem video. Really enjoyed your perspective and the manner in which you present/discuss things on GCN. Is this a family member writing this for me?
Yeah. You've written this one yourself?
Yeah, particularly the compromise aspect is so important. It's an area where building the bike can teach us about life. Keep up the great work, Alex. Thanks. I like that. It was cool. One more comment from Peter Slayer says, I love the idea of this build. It's kind of like resto modding in a car world, where you also got limitations where you need to work around. Love the idea of renewing old things.
Cool, isn't it?
Their hang-up is tyre clearance. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, it's now time for the Bike Vault. This is the part of the show where we judge your bikes to be either nice or super nice that you've submitted using the link in the description down below. But this week, the Bike Vault is taking a twist because we have included the bikes from the Made Show, which took place just over a week ago in Portland, Oregon. And so these are some of the show winners that the organisers of the Made Show have kindly shared the image assets with us.
That's cool, isn't it? So
This is cool.
So this is the Tomy.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and it's
This
by
is
Hornbecker
wild.
and Brooke Hoyer.
This is absolutely wild.
It's like a truss design.
I love the colours. It's kind of like that era of bike, would you say? That kind of vibe.
I mean, that's a super nice, isn't it? It's great.
Oh, wow, I haven't got the bell out. Hold fire. Oh, sorry.
That is blooming great.
Right. Super
Love
nice.
it. Yeah, I love it.
Next one is a Stella. Take a look at this.
Dylan Van Wielden and Rad Photo.
This is a absolute corker of a bike.
Bottle of wine in the bottle cage, what are we saying?
I mean, that's definitely acceptable on this kind of
It
bike.
looks like it's got a special cage for it where it's like clamped at the neck to stop it rattling around.
I like this little front rack, actually. It's cool.
Is that one of the little pizza slice dangle boys at the back?
Yeah, I think so. Gold chain, fist bump.
Yeah.
What we missed.
I rate that as well. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like
Super
the brazing on it.
Yeah. And this
And like that,
incredible.
that's like the steel finish. That is really nice, isn't it? Blimey neck, that's really good. What a finish that is.
What's your thoughts on coloured tyres? Like this sort of grey.
I think that bike rocks it well.
Yeah.
Dig
I would
it.
love to have a bike like this.
Yeah. Sean Hornbecker.
What is this? Can we tell me about the story about
I
this?
would describe this bike to someone who couldn't see it. So if it's like audio description only viewers, I don't think there's many of them, but there might be. It's a unicycle with 2 wheels. Now, if someone doesn't see the bike and just hears that, they will be like, what are you talking about?
Well,
but when you see it, it makes total sense.
This happened yesterday when I showed you the first picture of it. You were like, it's a unicycle with 2 wheels. And someone in the office, actually Rosa in the office, laughed and was like, what are you two idiots talking about?
Yeah.
Turns out this is the bike.
I think that's my... what it looks like is one of those bikes where someone... You give that challenge that we do, where we go, can you draw a bike in like 10 seconds or whatever? And that's what someone draws.
Yeah, I really like it. Though.
It is.
Very important question. I don't know the answer here. Has it got a headset pivot at both ends? So would it like oppose?
I have no idea. I really want to ride one.
It's also got the sort of disco ball effect throughout the frame.
Yeah, I love it. I think that's probably the greatest bike I've ever seen in my life. I really want to ride one.
I was about to super nice it. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I found a minor thing with this. Are the cranks not actually directly opposite each other?
Oh.
They're very, slightly opposite. Is there a reason for this?
I think they've not put them on right.
Do you think that's just a minor error?
It's just a nice...
Nice, cranks aren't aligned, ever.
Nice.
Next one in is a Rare Earth with a mountain bike. How's that infiltrated the tech show? Never mind. Right, we can look past that. The thing is about all these, it's all about the design and the colour and the way that things are made. Cool. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are they the Forge and Bond wheels with the
they are,
fibre
yeah.
tech?
They are, yeah.
Good spot
there. Yeah. No, that is cool. I tell you what I really like on that one is the rear derailleur.
Yeah,
And
I like that.
are they? I don't know what.
They look like 5-dev cranks.
They look like 5-dev, yeah.
Yeah.
On the cranks.
I want to super nice it.
It's smart. Isn't
Super
it?
nice.
Cool.
And then second to last bike for this week's bike, it's a Prova. And again, another mountain bike infiltrate the show.
Really good paint job on that. Like that is similar to. I mean, that sort of blue reminds me of the Dogma F and the Pinarello.
Well,
but then it's like a bit nicer because it goes into this silver fade on the bottom bracket.
Well, I think it's correct. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's because it's titanium and it's anodized with that.
But that is like
dreamy. That is.
That is a very organic shape for a titanium bike. It's not, it's not just tubes and lugs. That's really nice, isn't it?
I don't think we've ever got this excited about a mountain bike before.
That's really blooming good, that is.
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise that these will show winners for the main show.
No.
Super nice. Last one.
We've got one more.
It's a Mon. Or a Monet.
A Moan.
A Moan. Fixie.
With like gravel, big boy, chunky tyres on. I rate that because it's like, this is you know, a kind of like retro build. This is almost like the neo retro thing going on, because it has removed that problem that you have with a lot of steel retro looking frames of no tyre clearance, like what you were talking about with your one. This one's got loads of tyre clearance.
Can I just say, I think these...
I love the it's got the Esritalia saddle on it as well.
Honestly, I feel like these are all the sort of bikes and the people behind making these bikes who are helping to make cycling cool, right?
Yeah.
They're like all handmade, handcrafted, they're like passion, and it's all about doing something slightly different to the norm.
I really like this. There's a couple of things that I don't know on it, though. I really like the pedal, the toe clips.
Yeah.
They look really classy. The crank set, like the chain ring with the playing card symbols in.
I hadn't even noticed that.
Like what? Who makes that?
So
I don't know. If anyone knows who makes that, put it in the comments. And also, if anyone knows what's going on with that join lug that's on the top tube, I don't really understand that. I've seen a similar sort of feature on, like we've shown it on bikes before, which actually are folding bikes. But
my only thing I can think of is, unless it's hidden behind the chainring, the other decoupler.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, it's
really,
super nice,
really
right?
cool. Yeah, super.
Right, that's it. This week's GCN Tech Show is drawn to a close, and well, sorry to the viewers whose bikes didn't make it into the bike vault
Next week.
But these are actually incredible.
Bloody amazing.
I was second fun fact of this show. I was originally going to go to the Made show in Portland, Oregon, but I was on holiday, so I couldn't go. I'm actually really disappointed. Guess I'll have to wait till next year. Right, that's it. Get involved in the comments section down below to see if you have a solution to the world's e-bike problems, and we'll discuss them next week.
Love you, bye.
See ya.